Hi everyone. So Figma at their Config 2025 launched many different things, and these were many different updates and features including AI features, and it is amazing how Figma is expanding its set of features and it is becoming an integrated platform for illustrators, AI users and now even developers. So I'll go through the updates. I'll also use and show how to use some newer features which are also free. So with that, and their new Figma Make is also rolling out, which is exactly like you can prompt and it will create the whole websites. And as you can see, they have shown that it uses Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and it is going to be pretty amazing. I'll show. And there is also a way for now, because it is in beta, you can generate chat GPT images directly in Figma. You can edit them, you can create them. So stick to the video and I'll show each and everything. So I'll just give an overview about what were firstly launched at Config 2025, then I'll show how to use them. Yeah. And first is Figma Draw. So basically they introduced you can see brushes and pencils and everything. Now you can create the brushes from different shapes. They are actually trying to go after Illustrator, and you can also see because they actually launched Shape Builder as well. So they are trying to go after Illustrator for anything, like if you are creating vectors and logos. Now for most of the part you do not need Illustrator, and that is something they are trying to achieve, and it is amazing, as you can see. And I'll use them and I'll show how to use the brushes as well. And these are the drawing part. Now the second part that you can see, it is actually something in the auto layout. So auto layout actually used to create different set of layouts, and it is if you are a web developer, you would know, like there is you can select the layouts when you are developing, right? So it is very similar to the justify center or justify between that we use with Tailwind. So you can use those in designs directly. Now they actually introduced the grid, and this is also very important because now you can create bento and stuff like that, and everything will be directly fit into the grids. So this is something pretty useful. Figma Buzz is something that you can use to create like brand assets. So they are also trying to integrate a lot of stuff that Canva does, and that is why I am saying that Figma is trying to become an all-in-one platform. And the most interesting part, as you can see, is that you can actually create, design and publish websites from it now. So basically what happens is that you can create, and this is not actually available in the free version, and I'll mention that, but now you can create like different sets, the desktop version, the tab version and the mobile version, and from that you can directly publish them as well. So this is something which was popular with Framer, and now Figma is also getting into that. The last one is Figma Make, and this has not rolled out to everyone. It is basically a code generator, so a coding environment. You can prompt and it will create codes. Now the thing is, it is pretty amazing if you have something like this inbuilt in Figma, because you can change the design, you can code, and I think in later on stages you can directly take on the whole design and then create code out of it. So it is going to be pretty amazing. But again, for now, as you can see, they mention it uses Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but I would particularly say if you are going to use it for coding, still go for the Gemini model. The 2.5 Pro, and that came out on 5th, is amazing. So it works better. And now I'll show hands-on how to use some of these particular features. So firstly, you can see we have the brushes. So for the brushes, all you need to do is click here and it will open up the brushes. I'll select the brush from here. You can select different brushes, right? So I'll go with the first one only. And as you can see, so I'm doing this as white. I'll change it into black. And now you can see this is actually creating vector strokes. And this is amazing. This can be done in Illustrator as well. So you can see, you can create something like this. And the best part is, if you select one of these, right, this is a brush, but it is basically a stroke. So you can change the width and everything. So yeah, this is one of it. And you can draw the signature. Second is how you can create a brush from any of these strokes. So what you can do is that select this, right click on it. Here you can see create brush, stretch brush. Now if you go to the brushes, go to the last, you can see hello brush created here. So you can see hello, it is getting kind of stretched, right? So you can create brushes as well if you want. And from here you can rename the brush. If you want, you can delete the brush, just like I did. Now this is basically the stroke panel. So what I'll do is that and you can do this with normal as well. So let's say I chose the line, I drew this line, right? I select this, and here you can see so after you select the brush, I'll just increase the stroke a little bit so you can see it better. You can go to here, stroke settings. Here you can see this is the basic, and if you used brush, it would be like this, right? So I am using the basic. If I go to dynamic, you can see I can change the frequency. I can change the wiggle. I can also smoothen it out. And the endpoints, this is pretty much similar what was before. The endpoints become rounded. So I can do that. And this is the same thing that has been mentioned here. You can see frequency, wiggle and smoothen, right? And now let's come to vector improvements. And this is something you need to see. If I select this, right, now the normal part is you have to press enter. You will have this particular toolbar, right? This is the new shape builder. After shape builder, what you can do is, if you click on Alt, this is for the Windows. Sorry, you need to select both of them. So I'll select this one and this one. Now you need to press enter. See, you get this particular toolbar, right? And I'll click on shape builder. Now the interesting part is, if I click on, let's say, this part, you can see this shape has been created, right? And if I delete this, I'll do the same thing again. I'll just hide this one, right? And this part, you can see, has been created. So now you do not need to do like the subtract, add, everything. It directly creates this, like using the shape builder. And I'll go back again. The best part is, I'll select the shape builder, press Alt, and then if you click on it, you can directly subtract. And we have this shape, right? So this is basically what is going on with the shape builder. With the vector editing tool, you just select this, press enter. Here you can see there is lasso. So I'll select these. I'll press shift and select these three, right? And here you can see I'll change the curve. So it will become something like this. I selected these three, you can select these four as well. So with the lasso, you can select the points that you want for multiple shapes and then change it. See, this is what we are talking here, right? Now the next one is pretty interesting. This is called the pattern fill. With the pattern fill, I'll select, let's say, this head, right? And I'll go to fill. Here you can see we have pattern now. Select source. I'll select this one, right? And now you can see it has been filled. What I can do is that I can change the tile type, but I'll keep it rectangular or hexagonal. I'll keep it rectangular. I can change the scale. So I'll do something like this for the scale. I can change the spacing. of these particular tiles, and I can change the alignment as well. See, so this is something which I can do, and if you click on go source, you will directly go to the pattern here. Similarly, and here you can see this is a frame and this is a PNG. So this is a PNG, and we can also use that as well. So I'll go to fill, again pattern, select source, I'll select this one. Sorry, wait a second. What I'll do is I'll go here, pattern, select source, I'll select this one, and now you can see we have the same pattern. I can make it small, I can make it big, and we have this pattern here. So this is the new pattern fill. This is basically, you can now add texture, layer blur, noise and progressive blur. So I'll just show it in this one only. Yeah, and in this particular, you need to click on this effects, right? Here in the drop shadow, there are multiple effects now. So there is layer blur, there is background blur, texture and noise. These are the two new that they are talking about. So for the texture, you can see we need to create something like this. So what we can do is that we can change the size and we can change the radius. So it is creating something like this. For the noise, you can actually change the noise and the density. This is actually very useful if you are creating something like glass morphism, so you know you need to create the texture as well. So we are doing this, right? And these two are the main parts. Now one interesting thing that I'll show is that here you can see that this particular area, it does not have any background blur like this one, right? And in this one you can see the top layer does not have that much blur, but it increases gradually. So this is called progressive blur. And in the effects, what I'll do is I'll just add one. Here you can see background blur. Layer blur blurs everything in that layer. Background blur creates a blur for everything that is present in the background. So with this, I'll go with the not uniform. Uniform actually makes everything very uniformly blurred. We'll go with the progressive blur. Start, we have 0. That means it will start. It is very similar to gradient. So it will start with 0 blur and it will end with, we can increase the plane. So here you can see we have the progressive blur now. These are done. Text path is also very interesting. You can select any of the paths here. Now I'll select on text. I'll go to the path. You can see it changes something like this. There is an arc and a cursor, and I'll start writing. So if I write this, and then obviously I can do whatever I want with this particular text and it will follow that particular path. This is also very interesting. You can see it is the same thing, and you can work it with these particular any kind of paths. So again, if I do this and I write, you can see it is following that path, but because there is no spacing much, what I can do is that I can change the spacing if I want. So obviously it is following the path, but it does not look good here. Yeah, you can see the path, right? Now there is something as repeat transform now. So I'll select the first, let's say, pattern, right? And here what you can do is this, you can come here. This is the radial repeat. Once you click on it, you can change the number of count. You can change the gap that you want. This is for the radial. This is for linear, and linear you have horizontal or vertical. So for the vertical, what I'll do is I'll just change it to 1, 2, whatever I want, right? So here you can see the same thing. I'll go to the linear repeat and I'll choose down. So now we have 3 brush strokes. It is the same thing. Rotation has also been changed. For previously we used to rotate like this. Now the interesting part is just stay here for some time and you will see this anchor appears. I'll change the anchor to here, right? And now if I rotate, the anchor point has changed. So this is what they are actually mentioning here. And after that, there are some inspirations what you can do with the brushes. So we do not need to look into this. But the interesting part is, one thing which a lot of people I think are not using currently, I'll make one frame here, right? I'll select it, I'll go here and I'll click make an image, right? And now here you can see we have GPT image 1, we have Google Imagen 3 and Titan V2. 3 models and we can select anything that we want. So I'll write photograph of a dog and then I'll select. You can see it is creating the image. So we have the image for the dog and this looks pretty amazing, obviously because it is using the GPT model. Now you can also edit this. For example, I'll copy this. You can see it is selected and either you can select here for make changes or I'll go back, I'll go here. You can see there is make an image. So with make an image, what I'll do is that make this dog a Labrador and now it will start editing. As you can see, our image has been changed. Or if I want to show you a better way, what I'll do is that the better capabilities of the editing, I'll create an image, photograph of a woman in office. So now you can see the image has been created and now I'll go to the, not make an image, sorry, I'll go to edit image and I'll click here, make the coat red colored. And you can see that the image has been edited. So obviously we have this one, right? And we have 3 images here and I think the fingers have been messed up. So again, like that is a small issue, but now what you can do is that, for example, I'll come here, I'll go to copy and paste as and I'll copy as PNG, right? So here you will see that we can copy it as PNG. Now I'll come to the grid and I'll show it in a very fast manner. Let's come here. This is a frame, right? So I'll create a frame of my own. This is my frame. I'll select auto layout. This is the new grid beta. I click on grid. You can see this is 2 by 2. I'll select here. I'll make it 4 by 1 or I can do it 4 by 3, whatever I want. And I'll come here. I'll paste it. And now you can see that it pastes in the particular grid, right? So if I want, I can shift these here and it will always align with this grid. So for example, if I select this and paste, you can see the edges top and left will always coincide with the grid ones and I can select these. Now the best part is, if I want to change it, let's say like this, if I put it on middle, you see it snaps to the grid. I'll change it to this and while clicking control, if you change, you can just crop it out. So now you can see it is completely according to the grids. Now another thing that I would like to show is that I made this and I did this. There is a gap, right? So what I can do is that here you can directly control the gap. This is going to be the padding top and the padding left and right. So with this, you can understand, you can create different grids, and the best part is if you start typing and I can change the size, everything, you can see it still fits the grid, and if I want, I can change it to 2 grids, but it will always snap. So if I leave it here, it will snap to the second one. So this is very useful when you are creating posts, when you are creating websites, that bento kind of effect. It is pretty amazing. So this was it for the video, and I would suggest that you also use, while using the Make an Image, try out the Google Imagen as well as Titan V2. Titan V2 is also pretty good. So try these, and if you have any kind of doubt or any kind of question, let me know in the comment section below and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. Thank you.